her head was like right there at the opening and like was literally just gonna fall out. So I literally crossed my legs because I'm like, I don't know what's happening right now, but this baby is not about to fall on the kitchen floor. And my husband was right there. He's like, are you okay? I'm like, no. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Janae. Your girl over here thought I was going into labor at 31 weeks pregnant. This is the story of that experience. So a few weeks ago, I actually thought I was about to go into labor. I wanted to share this with you guys because if you're currently pregnant or if you're going to be pregnant in the future, this is just good to know information so that you don't scare yourself and work yourself up and think you're going into false labor when there's no real reason to think that. So hopefully my story can help ease your peace of mind if these symptoms happen to you. Pretty much up until the point of me being around 31 weeks, I didn't really experience any like super weird pregnancy symptoms. So the only real symptoms I was experiencing up to this point was belly tightening. So basically in the evening, my belly would get really tight. It wouldn't be painful or anything, and I knew that was normal. So yeah, that was that. But then all of a sudden at 31 weeks, I was going about my day and all of a sudden I felt, they call it lightning. So I'm gonna just call it lightning, okay? So I experienced lightning and that was not comfortable at all. I'm like, oh my gosh, it stopped me dead in my tracks. I'm like, what in the world was that? And then I was experiencing my belly getting really tight and lots of pelvic pressure down there, and all of this happened in this like all over the course of the day. So I didn't really think anything too much of it at first. I'm like, okay, these are really weird, hopefully they'll go away. The next day I experienced the same thing, and I actually took a walk at the park with my family, and as I was walking I'd just like stop all of a sudden and be like, oh my gosh, because I'd have lightning again. I would have this really like uncomfortable pain in my lower pelvic area, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And at one point later that night, I literally crossed my legs because I felt like she was just gonna come out. Like, I don't know how else to explain it, but it felt like my water was about to break or something, and like her head was just gonna slip right out. And I know that's totally like that can't happen. The baby's not just gonna slip out. Like, even when you go into labor, you have to push the baby out. The baby doesn't just fall out. But like, that's literally the only way I can explain it. Like, it literally felt like her head was like right there at the opening and like was literally just gonna fall out. So I literally crossed my legs because I'm like, I don't know what's happening right now, but this baby is not about to fall on the kitchen floor. Like, and my husband was right there. He's like, are you okay? I'm like, no, something is going on and I don't know what. And then that went away. And then I'd start getting like, again, this is only over the span of 2 days. So during this time, I would also get like a sciatic pain, like a shooting pain up my leg. And like, let me show you. Hopefully you can see me. Like, in this area, there'd be like a shooting pain, and also like all in that area. It wouldn't last long, but it'd just be quick, and it was sporadic all throughout the day for 2 days. So then the second day I was getting quite nervous. I think it was the second night, I believe. We were laying in bed after that had happened and it cooled down, whatever. And I looked up on my phone. I'm like, signs of early labor, signs of preterm labor, like symptoms and all this stuff. And I found this article, and basically I was reading that it said like, your body's preparing for labor, so it could happen soon. So I like flipped out. I'm like, I didn't really flip out. I flipped out internally. I immediately texted my sister, since she has 3 kids. She's on her 4th now. And I texted my mom. So I'm like texting like the symptoms and stuff. I'm like, like, what's going on? I think I'm gonna go into labor soon. And mind you, ever since the beginning of my pregnancy and even up until now, I don't know why, but I feel like my baby's going to come early. Like, not super, super early, but I just don't think she's gonna go all the way up until her due date. I don't know, it could be a day before, it could be 2 weeks before, I don't know, but I've always had that feeling and I've tried to suppress it, but even up to this day, like, I can't stop thinking about it. Like, I'm like, I just have this feeling she's gonna come early. So I'm like, no, she can't come before 37 weeks though, because I won't be able to have her at the birthing center then. But anyway, so with that keeping in mind, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I think I'm gonna go into labor. So I showed my husband the article and, well, I read it to him, and then I read him what my mom and my sister said. But immediately my husband responds by saying, oh, you're not in labor. All nice and calm, just not worried at all. And I'm like, boy, how do you know I'm not in labor? Like, you've never been in labor, I've never been in labor. How the heck do you know that I'm not about to go into labor right now? But he was all calm, so his calm confidence kind of reassured me in a way. Like, okay, it was like God saying, like, chill out, Janae. You need to relax. You're not going into labor, even though you may think you are. So yeah, that kind of calmed me down surprisingly. And come to realize the next day, I came across a whole bunch of other articles that I hadn't seen that basically said all of those symptoms that you're experiencing is baby dropping or getting into position. So, because for this whole pregnancy, even now, baby's like super active and like literally she like swims and moves all over my stomach. And that day, I believe she got into position. I don't know if she's still in position or not, but I know for those few days she was. And so when they get into position and their head goes down there, it creates a lot of those symptoms. It can, because their head is like lower down there, and their head can like press on certain nerves in your body, causing, especially when they like are moving, causing those sensations down there. So it's not to be like, oh, you're going into labor, especially because it was so sporadic throughout the day, and it would only happen when she moved. So yeah, like I said, because it wasn't like back to back and it wasn't like I was having contractions or anything or Braxton Hicks, it was just like when she moved, I would feel all of those sensations. So even though she moves a lot, like any point during the day, I'd just be walking and she'd move a little bit and I'd be like, oh my gosh, ow, like what in the world? It was normal though, because she was getting into position and she hadn't been in that position basically my whole entire pregnancy. So yeah, that was my scare. Like I said, it's now almost 3 weeks later and I don't experience those symptoms as much as I did in those 2 to 3 day span. But I definitely do still feel them occasionally. Like I'll be in the shower and I'll just get like a sciatic like nerve down my leg and I'm like, oh my gosh, like thank God my leg didn't just give out. But yeah, I'm definitely not in labor right now, so thank God. I'm somebody who like always thinks like, oh my gosh, and like because I have that thought of like I'm gonna go into labor early, I'm like, oh my gosh, like it could be happening. Even though I don't feel like it's happening, it could be happening. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave your thoughts down below, and if this has happened to you before, definitely let me know, because I'd like to think I'm not the only one who thought they were going into labor, but it was really the baby just getting into position. But yeah, so leave your thoughts down below. Give this video a thumbs up if you found it funny, amusing, or helpful in any way, and hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.